Well, hello everybody. It is Thursday, December 3rd, and let's jump into the market real quick. We have a market cap of $2.6 trillion, pretty high. And well, everything dumped a little bit. Bitcoin around the $55,000, Ethereum 4.3 thousand. Cardano, I think that will be the pick of the week. If I would have some money to invest in something right now for mid to long term, it would be Cardano. It is on a big sale, very cheap, compared to what I think where it will go the next couple of months. They have a decentralized exchange that's going to launch the testnet. I think that's in 2 days on the 5th, called Sunday Swap, and they will have their own stable coins, etc., their own market makers, automated market makers. So DeFi is going to go to Cardano, and that will just, in my opinion, lock up a lot of Cardano and bring some more extra value to the whole Cardano ecosystem. So I will consider this coin to go up. Also, it's just a good one to have long term because the staking is real, and every epoch you get a certain percentage. You get a stake. And so I still consider staking to be one of the most valuable tokens to hold, just because they give you a certain amount of income. You basically have your money make money for you. You can go with all the DeFi and all the lending and the farming. I personally would be careful, simply because sound money will not be able to give you a return of like 100 APY or whatever these coins give you long term. Yeah, so I think it's a modern form. There's definitely a few of those that are some kind of a Ponzi scheme that will probably disappear in the next year or so. Plus, who knows how stable they are. A lot of them can and probably will be hacked. A few have been, and I wouldn't be surprised if we will see another hack where the founders run away with the money. So yeah, Cardano has been around, and they technically don't really go too much for the hype. So that's why I personally really like that project. Of course, there are some questions about it too, but where big money is, there's always big interests, and there's always some people behind the curtains. But anyways, I don't know. I don't know all about that. Terra Luna going up and up and up. I think that's going to come down at some point, as everything. But well, yeah, that's still a good one. Avalanche 106. Kind of, yeah, still in its retracement phase, I think, for now. But long term, I think is a good time to invest now if you don't need the big run in the next week or month. I think long-term Avalanche is still a very good one to hold. Polygon seems to break out soon. It has already gone up quite a bit, but testing its all-time high, so it could go on a massive run. And then Litecoin, yeah, what do we do with Litecoin? I don't know. I think personally, next to Cardano, another big one that will run, because it has been not really in the news at all. It kind of has been forgotten, but it's a very strong coin. Has been around for a long time, and this is Chainlink, and it has really some value. Yeah, don't forget we're in hype mode. DeFi, and especially metaverses and NFTs in the metaverse and all that stuff is very massive right now. You see things like Snoop Dogg being in the space, Katy Perry coming to Theta and doing a Theta drop. All really amazing things, and you might make money on those, but that's when the hype is here. Yeah, so not all these things are gonna last for too long, and not all of these things really have big value. Now you can debate if you should go with fundamentals or not. It's really up to you. I personally prefer going with the fundamentals, even though in a money ish aspect, it's probably not the best short term. Definitely not. If you are into gamble, you can, throw some coins or some money at these NFT spaces and metaverses, and you probably make way better than putting it into the fundamentals. I wouldn't be surprised. just make sure to take out profits. Don't do this if you don't take out profits, because they will come down. All the cryptos eventually come down again, and then they go up again, and a lot of people get wrecked. And right now you see a lot of YouTubers that have been here before some years ago talking about the latest ICO and what they'll bring to the world, and it's this perfect thing, and now everything happens, and they disappeared, and I didn't talk for 2 years in the bear market because nobody was interested in investing into cryptocurrencies because it just had such a massive drop. And now they're starting to come up again. Yeah, they have these beautiful things called a cake swap or cake DeFi or whatever, and they're back. Yeah, they're back shilling these things, and you have to invest now if you want to have the gains and da-dee. So just know this. I've been through one of these cycles. I got burned with some coins. I definitely learned my lesson, and down the road, the old ones, the stable ones, they probably are not as attractive, but long term, they will increase in value. So just have a strategy. Now, having a strategy is not that easy, and we get quite emotional because we're human beings, so we get stuck in these big gain hopes, and hopium is around. So and that will stay around even if the prices go down. You'll think, well, maybe it will go back up, and a few of those will never go back. They will go into the dark and they will disappear. But anyways, I hope for every one of you to be successful in this space. So let's move on. Let's have a quick look. Crypto.coin being the winner of the week, 300% up, triple your money in a week, pretty neat. And Matt Damon is in there. Okay, interesting. Avalanche has 5% up in the last 24 hours. That's pretty nice compared to what you can get in the stock market. And Solana, 63% up in trading volume. That's kind of interesting. But the most interesting I find is this weird thing called Omicron. So they had a cryptocurrency called Omicron that went up 1,100% in 7 days, and now it crashed 75%. I didn't even know there was also a Squid Game token, yeah, and now we have an Omicron token. So interesting. It's like gives one this idea to scroll all the tokens and see what happens in the news. And if you want, invest some time and see what the next thing might be after Squid Game and Omicron. I'm sure there's going to be something else, and maybe they leak some information through these coins. Who knows? Some conspiracy right there. Yeah. Basic attention token doing really good. That's interesting. Yeah, has been kind of low for a long time. It's been around for like a couple of years, and now it seems to go up like a hot cake. So that's pretty interesting. All right. Something else I find interesting is Mr. Dorsey is where is it? Let me see. Mr. Dorsey. There we go. Resigned from Twitter. You probably know this, and he starts his own crypto company, fintech company called Square. Basically, checking out Web3. So everything is really hyping going into Web3 right now. We have Facebook, we have brands like Adidas, we have all these influencers like Snoop Dogg and Katy Perry. Is it Katy Perry, I think? And and now Mr. Dorsey goes into crypto full on Bitcoin. Yeah, it's an interesting movement, because another thing is Vitalik Buterin now talking about metaverses. We have cities like Miami starting their coins, and he talks about having coins that link you to a certain city, and you basically have benefits in that city when you hold a certain coin, which is all very cool. But me, as a friend of fundamentals, my basic hope is that we use this for the betterment of humanity. And it is possible, but we gotta just stay focused and alert, and really make sure that it stays goes into a direction that it actually benefits humanity. So these players and influencers being in there is cool, but I just like to be still cautious, because having an ownership and then it gives you free space to park. What if you don't have an ownership? It gets way easier to give people benefits if you have, and if you participate, and if you behave the way the community wants. If that is true with this community thing, right? If there really is a community, or if it's all just faked and somebody actually owns and rules this thing. Or if somebody doesn't behave properly, well, it's easy to exclude them, right? And with the current way things go in like Germany, Austria, Australia, with this COVID thing and the certificates, I'm just a little cautious, how we use this technology. Yeah, every technology, every new thing we invent, it can be used for the good, it can be used for the bad. Think about the atomic bomb back in that we fiddled around with. Gives us a lot of energy, but it can be used in a bad way. And I'm afraid there's always certain entities in human beings, in human behavior, that enjoy or use these things in a malicious way. So it really goes back to we as human beings, as users, have to be careful how we use it and who we give the power to use these technologies. So basically what I try to say is, that's why I am here. I'm trying to motivate myself and also you to learn about this as much as possible. And because that's really the empowerment, is knowledge. And this space is very, very complex, very fast growing and difficult to understand. I come from an absolute non-technical background and non-financial. I studied music and mathematics, and so I don't really know much, didn't know anything really about all of this a couple of years ago. But that doesn't mean you can't learn anything about it. It's a very overwhelming space, yes, but it doesn't have to be. So if we stick together and if we help each other, I think we can help each other to learn about this instead of being scared and then forget about it. So I want to kind of be an example in that and just give you some hope and motivation of, hey, let's do this together. Let's learn. Let's see what we can come up with. And my vision really is to help humanity to bring something positive and empowering for everybody, and help communities have clean water, have resources, have opportunities, and increase peace and sustainability. Because at the end of the day, if we don't have clean water, food, and security, if we don't feel secure, if we don't have friends we can rely on, and if we don't have good relationships with nature and our families, everything else becomes kind of unimportant. Yeah, if you're hungry at the end of the day, you don't really care about the latest DeFi project. If you can still your thirst, everything else will become very, very irrelevant. And water will be scarce, as I've heard. By 2025, 75% of humanity will be in a water scarce environment. So how about we tackle those problems? And it really, I think this technology can really help us, but we have to do it. I don't think we can rely on other entities doing it. So let's brainstorm, let's talk, let's see what we can come up with. We cannot all do it by ourselves, so let's pull together. All right, I've talked for quite a bit, I think. Leave a comment, a question. If you have listened so far, thank you very much for joining, for tuning in, for listening to me talk.